I remember a whole lot of quite loud and arrogant black folks and how amazing Donald Trump is going to be for the economy. Oh, they had lots to say until the actual facts come out. What do we see? This economy that he owns is in major trouble. That's right. The delayed September jobs report. Now, first of all, the White House is touting, oh my God, look at this, 119,000 jobs added. Look at this growth. Really? A significant increase from the 22,000 in August. But the overall unemployment rate went up to 4.4%. Black workers, the unemployment rate remains unchanged at 7.5%. Black men dropped several points to 6.6 for black women, increased to 7.5%, the highest since 2021. The delayed jobs report reveals a concerning trend, highlighting that black women are facing the most significant challenges in this economy. Morgan Harper is the Director of Policy and Advocacy at the American Economic Liberties Project. She's with us right now. Morgan, the White House is doing all they can to spin. But even Fox News is like, yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, the September number was higher than expected, like you said, Roland, but there were these downward adjustments that were made. And so actually overall, there's about 900,000 fewer jobs created throughout the year than was previously expected. So the average monthly is just a few tens of thousands of jobs, much lower than what we were seeing even a year ago. And I do think it's important, to go a little bit deeper here. I mean, we're seeing the uptick in black women unemployment. We've talked about that a little bit before. Not a surprise given some of the cuts that have been happening in the federal sector where a lot of us have been employed and had stable jobs. And then when we look at the industries where the job growth is being driven right now, it is in leisure, restaurants, bars, and healthcare. And so we have to also think about the quality of those jobs. If we were talking about restaurants and bars, then not necessarily getting a guaranteed salary, not coming with the benefits, and that can lead to other effects in things like consumer spending. Another thing that I thought was interesting was the number of people that have college degrees that are also looking. We're starting to see an uptick there in people that have college degrees that are not able to find jobs, including some young people. When we look at some of the sectors that are having layoffs, including the technology sector, that's likely to impact some folks in that category. And then also, we're talking about the tech sector and some of the areas where we're seeing job loss. It is in transportation, warehouses, where those have also been driving a lot of the job growth more recently. But overall, you're exactly right that the promise of this administration from campaign to inauguration and on has been that they're bringing back the manufacturing sector. And this is another month where we've seen an ongoing loss in manufacturing jobs.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that they claim all these amazing things are going to happen. And it's not happening. And I don't know if you saw last night's show. I got a kick out of whiny ass Lawrence B. Jones on Fox News going, it's only been 9 months. I don't know how you can put all this on Trump. Well, Fox News sure as hell put it all on Biden.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's interesting is, I don't know if you saw this, press release that came out from the White House where they're touting all the accomplishments of the White House and how popular the accomplishments are. And it's, pointing to things like fewer foreign students at universities. And, we're starting to get beefing up border security. But then when you're asked to look at how people are feeling about the economy, that's the lowest result. And so it turns out, some of these immigration targets are not actually helping anyone's bottom line. And it'll be interesting to see, looking ahead to 26, how this all plays out. I don't know that the administration can count, or by extension, the Republican Party, a lot of folks that are going to be up. Is it going to matter some of these quote unquote cultural issues where they've been able to tout these so-called accomplishments when at the end of the day, these job numbers, the overall economic picture, and just how people are experiencing the economy right now is not very positive. And they're saying it when they're asked, and the polling is reflecting that.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they have all of this spin. I mean, so they're trying everything to not talk about it. Even this, hang, shoot, execute Democrats. I mean, look, Donald Trump is trying to throw everything out here to keep people not focused on his pathetic job when it comes to the economy.
Yeah, and I'm going to point to another thing for us to continue to monitor here is the healthcare sector. I mean, this is where a lot of jobs have been created, but that's another area of a lot of sensitivity, vulnerability. So jobs are being created, but there's a lot of vertical integration in the industry. Hospitals that are dependent on a lot of federal funds coming in that isn't necessarily guaranteed in this environment. And so that might not continue to drive that growth. And we're seeing, the premiums are continuing to go up. Employers can't manage these costs. And that might also lead to a need to shed workforce or shed benefits, leading to other ripple effects in the economy for people if they have to go to the exchanges, should the exchanges continue to exist, if they're not getting employer-provided health care. So there's a lot of complexity here. I do think we're going to have to continue to look at healthcare. That's both immediate, just monitoring what's happening, but then also a discussion about what comes next. Because even in a world where the subsidies continue for the Affordable Care Act, these premiums are becoming unsustainable. Like I was saying, for a lot of employers, there's a lot of concentration of power where large companies that are on Wall Street are not necessarily focused on delivery of care or controlling costs, quite the opposite. And we've got to think through how to change those incentives to make sure that, yes, we continue to have a sector that's employing people, but also employing people to deliver medicine and care, not just reward shareholders.
Well, it's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out, and the economy is not getting better. There was I saw there was a front page. Do y'all have that front page of the Des Moines newspaper? I thought this was it was really interesting, Morgan. Seeing this, I was this morning. I was looking at different stories or whatever, and I'm telling you, all these crying farmers, and they're sitting here all upset. And again, they voted for this dude. This is the front page right here. The Des Moines Register: growing bankruptcies. More farmers seek help counseling as crops prices fall, expenses add up. Well, guess what? Y'all voted for this dude.
Yeah, I am very, very curious how 26 is going to play out. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to point to the, this White House release. I mean, even the accomplishments that they're trying to convince people, when you have to put out a release to convince people that the economy is strong, that already suggests something is a bit awry. But, they're pointing things like, you're going to get the best tax refund ever in a year. Wait for it, right? I think what we're hearing from a lot of these farmers is that they're in a day-to-day situation. They don't have a year. And so if people are really feeling these impacts so immediately, I would think that it's going to shift, the electoral outcomes here, but only time will tell, I guess.
Well, not only that, so I saw this video here. So now he's unleashing these raids on North Carolina. And this farmer in North Carolina said, this ain't gonna turn out well. Check this out, Morgan.
I own a farm in North Carolina, and I can tell you for a fact that these raids will not make our state more safe, but they will make it more expensive, and it will be a stain on all of us. In May, when we start harvesting strawberries after the toll of deportation raids and the psychological trauma inflicted on the Latino communities continued to fester, farms like us aren't going to have our usual labor. We've already been told there's going to be a shortage. I spoke with one farmer who's posted locally for jobs harvesting produce for 10 years, and he's never had a local person apply. He doesn't even know what he's going to do next year. The people being rounded rounded up are hardworking individuals, not criminals, and the blunt force tactics are only meant to make people afraid. They're not targeted. They're biased against people who don't look like me. Many of the people affected are working on our farms, building our houses, constructing our roads. They're the hardest working people I know. They're humble and kind with actual family values. I believe a day of reckoning will come, but unfortunately not just for the people perpetuating this awful tragedy, but for us as a country for letting it happen. Have the day you voted for.
See, the thing right here, not only that, construction jobs, these farm jobs. And so all these folks, again, they love them some Trump. They can't stand immigrants. They don't want, they trash and undocumented workers. Okay, you're now about to experience the thing you said you wanted.
Well, yeah, and if you're looking at like Ohio, for example, where I am, you have a state government that has completely disinvested in education of young people. And so they're not exactly building up some kind of like next generation workforce that is prepared to take on leadership in any of these sectors or be able to be employed in them. And then you're eliminating what has been filling these jobs. And look, I mean, I think we all agree we want Americans to be successful. We want Americans to be able to get good paying jobs, but y'all can't have it both ways. It's like you're cutting what is the current labor force and you are not investing in people who actually live here, which you claim to be caring about. And that is just not going to add up. And so, it's a pretty depressing situation. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat this. But I do think it's important for us, and I think I say it almost every time I come on, to just continue to try to get the facts out about what is happening on the ground. I mean, we had there's a small town here northeast of Columbus where, the only restaurant in the town, more or less, was shut down, this taco shop, because of the raids. And that was the restaurant. That was employing people. That was where people were going for, when they're trying to just like hang out for a little bit. They were also sponsoring sports teams and different community activities. And so at every level, this is all backwards. And I do hope that people will kind of make these connections quickly as we look ahead to next year.
All right. Morgan Harper, always a pleasure. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Another good jobs report. And it was just driving them crazy. Yeah. And now it's killing them. And they're trying to find some glimmer of hope when it comes to Donald Trump. Listen to this. I thought this was pretty funny.
The unemployment rate going up to what is a cycle high of 4.44% if you look at the full number. And it's not good news, because if you look at, these are people entering the workforce. Yeah, not so much. The way that the Bureau of Labor Statistics calculates this, they interpret the numbers as follows. They use a Census Bureau population estimate to inflate the survey sample size to the U.S. population size. So the number that they're using, the census number they're using for population growth, is based on a comprehensive population update that was done at the end of last year. Chris Lowe, the economist, adjusted for known border crossings and deportations now under President Trump. The actual numbers likely show that half that number that was used in this calculation is reflected half that much labor force growth. So cut that labor force growth number in half. That is near zero employment growth in the household survey used to calculate the unemployment rate. So the unemployment rate an unemployment rate that is still 4.44%. That is the ratio in the sample. So it's like, if you adjust the calculation, it's not because of good news.
And we all saw what happened in Irving.
It's not good news, Reese.
I'm shocked that Fox News is admitting that the Trump administration is cooking the books. This is a big reason why Donald Trump fired the statistician that is not typically a partisan position, so that he can get numbers in there that are more favorable to the story that he wants to tell. But it's important to note that these numbers are from September. We are days away from December, so we're not getting October numbers anytime soon. And I can only imagine kind of carnage was done to the labor force because of the government shutdown, because of people having to pull back on spending and a number of things. There have been reports that seasonal hiring related to retail are much lower than they had been in prior years, even though there have been some strong numbers out from Walmart, and Nvidia had a good earnings report. But there are a lot of warning signs in this economy, and the reality is this: all Donald Trump's funky ass had to do when he got in office was do nothing. The Biden-Harris economy was still chugging along. Yeah, it slowed down a little bit, but there was still job growth. All of the job losses that we're seeing, all of this massive disruption to the economy is because of Donald Trump's policies. It is because of his erratic tariff policies. It's because businesses had no idea what to expect from one day to the next, and so they stopped hiring, which is reflected in the stagnant job hiring numbers. People stayed put in their jobs, even if their jobs suck and they don't want to do that. People are having a hard time who are long-term unemployed, and prices are up. Inflation is up. So all of these errors that we're finding in the economy are unforced errors, and they are deliberate policy from this administration. And so Donald Trump can say whatever the hell he wants to say about this new word, affordability, or groceries is a new word, or whatever the word he's discovering because he's an out-of-touch billionaire. But you can't gaslight the American people on what they feel. And that's why, even though Dems and all their flaws and their poor perception from the general public are kicking Republicans' ass on the generic ballot in 2026.
Well, see, Joy, here's the thing that I think that people have to understand. It's very simple. Those who are in charge will get the blame or the credit. Simple as that.
That's
you're going to get blame or credit. Democrats, and what's interesting is that the White House is trying to do the exact same thing the Biden White House did, telling people it's not as bad as they think it is. People are like, no, it is. And this is the thing that I have long said, and I said this when Biden and Harris were there, that all of these people who are out here, they were expecting this snapback economy. They were like, it was as if COVID never existed. So they were complaining about inflation. They were complaining about prices. They were blaming, well, what can you do about it? Knowing full well the president actually can't. Well, there were moves made by Biden that actually were smart when it came to gas, strategic oil reserve, all those different things, but got no credit for it. But here you have Mr. Oh, I can save the world. On day one, everything is going to change. Everything will be fixed. Day one. And these idiots actually believed him. They said, oh, day one, he's going to end the Ukraine-Russian war. Day one, he's going to end Israel and Hamas fighting in Gaza. Oh, day one, he's going to lower everything. And so they fell for it. Now, all of a sudden, they realize, damn, these tariffs are kicking our ass. So all of these people, and that's why I'm just sitting back, I got thoughts and prayers. All of these farmers who are complaining, don't look at us. Y'all voted for his ass. These folks in North Carolina, they are about to learn what's going to happen when all these places are getting raided. It was a country club that went off because ICE came onto their property trying to snatch folks and hadn't talked to anybody. And so all this stuff is going on. Then you got people like that fool out of Ohio, Jim Jordan, who posted this here. Doesn't it seem like Democrats would rather see President Trump fail than America succeed? I swear, Joy, for 4 years, that's all I heard Republicans want. They wanted the economy to crater. They kept predicting a recession for 4 years, every single week for 4 years, and it never happened.
That's right. And we actually know that when Mitch McConnell was leader of the Senate and Donald Trump was coming in, he not only was betting on President Obama failing, he was waiting for it and trying to orchestrate it because they thought that was in their political interest. So, of course, Jim Jordan is telling on himself.
No, I'm sorry. So you meant, okay, no, that was when Obama was elected president in 2009.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, not Trump. Not Trump.
Not Trump. I'm saying Obama. When he was elected, the Republicans were very open. So Jim, what he's doing is reflecting what is the Republican strategy. When Democrats are in office, we always are pulling for the American people. In this case, Reese is right. If Donald Trump failed, we probably would succeed. We had a stronger economy when he came in office than we have today. And I think we talk about the results of this economic downturn, but we don't talk about why. Roland does, which is great, but we got to dig deeper into it. It is because of the tariffs. It is because of the instability he has created in the market. It is because of his attack on things that are actually good for bottom lines that including everyone in the economy. It is his immigration raids, which has created destabilization in the housing market, in other markets around the country, in the farming market, etc. It is his deals with other countries, going back to the tariffs, that have actually hurt American farmers. All of those things are hurting American people at a time, to be clear, where costs are going up. In due part to tariffs, in due part to destabilization in the in the healthcare market, right? Jobs are being lost. So fewer jobs at a time where there's higher costs. This is Donald Trump. And instability. Instability is not good for business. It means that they can't plan for the future. And Reese is right. We're talking about hearing what happened in September. There's a lag. The government shutdown is going to have a significant impact on the economy in October and November. So we can anticipate that there will be economic downturn during those months. But it won't simply be because of the shutdown.
Well, I love this, Reese. Well, Trump has lowered, Thanksgiving dinner by about 30 cents. I mean, they are trying everything in the world. So, I mean, here's my whole deal. Hey, suck it up. Y'all said this man was brilliant on the economy. Oh, he was polling way higher than Vice President Kamala Harris on the economy. Okay, let's see your magic. Nah, it was a con. The con man conned the fools again. He didn't con black women. He didn't con black men. He conned everybody else.
Right. Well, I remember one of the examples that they used to try to say that, Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper was a Walmart basket, where the Walmart basket had fewer items this year than it did in the last year's basket. And so if you try to manipulate, which is what this administration always does, they try to manipulate the data, they just make numbers up, then maybe you could kind of figure out a way to make Thanksgiving cheaper. But the reality is that prices are up. It is high as shit to get groceries, okay? So maybe it's going to be cheaper because you're going to have less sides, or we're going to have a little bit less turkey or less ham, whatever situation may be. People making substitutes might make it cheaper, but you cannot convince people what people spend. People know what their budgets are. People know how much money they have left over after they go to the grocery store, after they go to McDonald's, or what's the little in between Olive Garden where the rich folks and the poor folks can all have a little nice meal out. So it's not going to work trying to tell people that things don't cost as much when people know damn well what it costs. And so, I think it's desperate, and it just shows that they're unserious about really tackling the issues that we need them to tackle. And it
doesn't help, Reese, when your dumbass tariffs and with no strategy, no plan, nothing. It's just completely haphazard. That has played a crucial role also in all of this uncertainty. And he's just kind of like, well, let's see. Whoever gives me a gold-plated, so whatever, I'll lower your tariffs. I mean, it's been a joke. And the Republicans are just sitting here going, okay, go right ahead, Donald. Go ahead. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, can I just real quick say on that,
go ahead.
The thing about it is with tariffs is that they have tariffed every single country practically in this world. So when you're talking about raw goods that we import, when you talk about even things such as aluminum, every part of the products that we pay for in grocery stores have some sort of imported piece in it. And the price of all those things has gone up. And so what we've seen people like Procter & Gamble and other companies say, sure, we may not raise the price, but we will change the formulations on things, or we'll change how much quantity you get within the same packaging, or we'll change the packaging that you're getting for the same price. And so, yes, they have, through these tariffs, not only raised the price of every component of the supply chain, but they've also weakened the economies of scales that we get, because we don't have as wide a market for our businesses to sell to. And so whereas they would normally be able to save because they are producing much more that they get to export, a lot of these export markets have been closed off. So every single step step of the economic chain, every step of the supply chain, whether we're importing or exporting, has been adversely impacted by this administration. And as Joy said, that instability is a big reason why we're seeing even more chaos. Because if you know that, well, today the tariff is 50%, but maybe somebody would scratch Donald Trump's back, throw him a cheeseburger, and it'll be 35% next week, then people are going to wait it out. They're going to wait out what they do in terms of capital expenditures. They're going to wait out what they do in terms of inventory. They're going to wait out what they do in terms of hiring and firing. And so that stagnation is really showing up in all of the numbers that we're seeing, and it's costing Americans a lot more at the grocery store.
And plus, we know all he's doing is lying his ass off, Joy. Saudi Arabia, they're going to invest $1 trillion to the American economy. The entire gross domestic product of Saudi Arabia is $1.1 trillion.
Exactly.
Dude, stop it. I mean, so he's lied about the Japanese. He's lied about, he just lies. And, massive investment. Yeah, we cut a deal where they're going to give us billions and I get to decide how it's going to be spent in the United States. And then the country's like, no, we didn't. They ain't what we talked about. I keep telling everybody, he lies about lies.
He lies about lies, and then when he can't lie anymore, he just cuts off the data. He says, no more. We're not even going to report anymore. I have Republicans who are also saying, I don't know that we're ever going to get data. And look, everyone out here has common sense. If that data was good, he wouldn't be making it up. He would be out there flying it high. He is not, because it's bad data. And he understands that, and the best thing to do is to not report it in his case. And with respect to any investments that are coming from other countries, we can be assured that they are investments that will go to the top percenters in the American economy, that the American people will never see it. To be clear, what economists are saying right now is we have all the indications that we've had the greatest job loss since the Great Depression, that's what could be on the other side in the new year and in coming years under Donald Trump for us. That's what they are saying when you're looking at historical data and patterns. That is a real concern. And Donald Trump doesn't seem to be making any changes to make that different. So he might float things out there like, I'm going to give you a check or I'm going to give you that. But my goodness, a one-time check? What does that mean for your long-term generational wealth? Nothing.
Well, first of all, he can't.
Everyone understands that, and that's never going to happen because it's illegal. He
also can't give you a check because that has to be passed by Congress. He just can't on his own say, I'm going to send out $2,000 checks. No, that has to be passed by the House and the Senate. So, but again, the idiots fall for it and they go, oh my God, Donald is great. He's going to send us $2,000. No, he's not.
No, but
it's not because y'all fall for the okie doke. And I'm telling you, all I'm doing as every day progresses. What did I say back in January? I said people have to FAFO, and so they have to learn the hard way. What did I say? They're going to have to experience maximum pain to then realize, oh my God, what was I thinking? And so that's why I'm sorry. I have no feelings if you're Muslim in Dearborn, Michigan, and you're pissed off that the racist right wing is protesting Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, and y'all think that voting for Trump gave you cover. I don't. I don't have any feelings for farmers in Nebraska and Iowa and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Georgia and Michigan that voted for Trump. I don't. If y'all are going bankrupt, I'm sorry. I don't have anything for you because y'all voted for him. If you're Latino and you're Cuban and you're Venezuelan and I'm sorry, y'all about to get deported and he's sitting here removing your legal status, sorry. Bottom line is your fellow countrymen and women who were voters, they voted for this. So the people who are experiencing massive amounts of pain, I feel nothing for them. I don't. Because This is what they voted for. And every time they say, oh, no, I voted for this, not this. No, when you vote, it's not a buffet. You're not a golden corral. You don't get to pick and choose what I voted for. Nope. You vote for all of it, whether it's good or bad. So I'm like, sorry, suck it up.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.